Caen is a commune in northwestern France. It is the prefecture of the Calvados department and the capital of the Basse-Normandy region. The city proper has 108,365 inhabitants, while its urban area has 420,000, making Caen the largest city in Lower Normandy. The metropolitan area of Caen, in turn, is the second largest in Normandy after that of Rouen, the 21st largest in France. It is located 15 kilometers inland from the English Channel, 2 hours northwest of Paris, and connected to the south of England by the Caen-Portsmouth ferry route. Caen is located in the center of its northern region, and it is a center of political, economic and cultural power. Located a few miles from the coast, the landing beaches, the bustling resort of Deauville and Québourg, Norman Switzerland or Pays d'Auge. Caen is often considered the archetype of Normandy. Caen is known for its historical buildings built during the reign of William the Conqueror, who was buried there, and for the Battle for Caen, heavy fighting that took place in and around Caen during the Battle of Normandy in 1944, destroying much of the city. The city has now preserved the memory by erecting a memorial for peace, symbols, heraldry, current arms, gules, a single-towered open castle or windowed and masoned sable. Under the ancient regime, Perfes, gules en azur, 3 fleurs de lis or, during the First French Empire, gules, a single-towered castle or a chief of good imperial cities. Arms in effect under ancient regime. Arms requested from Napoleon in 1809 which were refused. Arms in effect under the First French Empire. Arms in effect today, reverting to the original arms of the 13th century. Motto today, Caen has no motto, but it used to have one, which did not survive the French Revolution. As a result, its spelling is archaic and has not been updated. Unju, unroy, unfoy, unloy. This motto is reflected in a notable old chant, Royal Code Caen's home port code is Caen history. Early history, Hundred Years' War in 1346, King Edward III of England led his army against the city, hoping to loot it. It was expected that a siege of perhaps several weeks would be required, but the army took the city in less than a day, the 26th of July 1346, storming and sacking it, killing 3,000 of its citizens, and burning much of the merchants' quarter on the Ile Saint-Jean. During the attack, English officials searched its archives and found a copy of the 1339 Franco-Norman plot to invade England, devised by Philip VI of France and Normandy. This was subsequently used as propaganda to justify the supplying and financing of the conflict and its continuation. Only the castle of Caen held out, despite attempts to besiege it. A few days later, the English left, marching to the east and on to their victory at the Battle of Crèvecoeur. It was later captured by Henri V in 1417 and treated harshly for being the first town to put up any resistance to his invasion. Second World War. During the Battle of Normandy and the Second World War, Caen was liberated in early July, a month after the Normandy landings, particularly those by British First Corps on 6 June 1944. British and Canadian troops had intended to capture the town on D-Day. However, they were held up north of the city until 9 July, when an intense bombing campaign during Operation Charnwood destroyed 70% of the city and killed 2,000 French civilians. The Allies seized the western quarters, a month later than Field Marshal Montgomery's original plan. During the battle, many of the town's inhabitants sought refuge in the Abbaye, built by William the Conqueror some 800 years before. Both the cathedral and the university were entirely destroyed by the British and Canadian bombing. Post-war, post-Second World War work included the reconstruction of complete districts of the city and the university campus. It took 14 years and led to the current urbanization of Caen. Having lost many of its historic quarters and its university campus in the war, the city does not have the atmosphere of a traditional Normandy town such as Honfleur, Rouen, Québourg, Deauville and Bayeux. The Canadian Army Film and Photo Unit filmed the D-Day offensive and Orne breakout several weeks later, then returned several months later to document the town's recovery efforts. The resulting film, You Can't Kill a City, is preserved in the National Archives of Canada. Images Hotel d'Escoville, 16th century, Caen. Anonymous pen and ink bird's eye view of the fortifications of Caen. South wall of the castle, a huge fortress in the center of the city. Town Hall of Caen. Caen railway station. Caen's tramway is in fact a modern guided bus system. Saint-Étienne-le-Vieux Church. Interior of Saint-Pierre Church. The fortress of Caen. The Abbey of Saint-Étienne. Etymology. The very first mentions of the name of Caen are found in different acts of the Dukes of Normandy. Cadon 1021-1025, Cadamus 1025, Catham 1026, 1027. Year 1070 of the Parker manuscript of the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle refers to Caen as Cadam. Despite a lack of sources as to the origin of the settlements, the name Caen would seem to be of Gaulish origin, from the words scatu, referring to military activities, and magozed field, hence meaning maneuver field or battlefield. In Les Amants Brut, the poet asserts that King Arthur named the city in memory of Sir Kay. Geography. Caen is in an area of high humidity. The Orne River flows through the city, as well as small rivers known as Les Odens, most of which have been buried under the city to improve urban hygiene. Caen is 10 kilometers from the Channel. A canal parallel to the Orne was built during the reign of Napoleon III to link the city to the sea at all times. The canal reaches the English Channel at Weetram. A lock keeps the tide out of the canal and lets large ships navigate up the canal to Caen's freshwater harbours. Climate. Main sites. Castle. The castle, Château de Caen, built circa 1060 by William the Conqueror, who successfully conquered England in 1066, is one of the largest medieval fortresses of Western Europe. It remained an essential feature of Norman strategy and policy. At Christmas 1182, a royal court celebration for Christmas in the Aula of Caen Castle brought together Henry II and his sons, Richard the Lionheart and John Lackland, receiving more than 1,000 knights. Caen Castle, along with all of Normandy, was handed over to the French crown in 1204. The castle saw several engagements during the 100 Years' War and was in use as a barracks as late as the Second World War. Bullet holes are visible on the walls of the castle where members of the French resistance were shot during the Second World War. Today, the castle serves as a museum that houses the Musée des Beaux-Arts de Caen and Musée de Normandie, along with many periodical exhibitions about arts and history. Abbeys. In repentance for marrying his cousin Matilda of Flanders, William ordered 2 abbeys to be built on the Pope's encouragement. Église Street Etienne, formerly the Abbaye aux Hommes. It was completed in 1063 and is dedicated to Saint Stephen. The current Hotel de Ville of Caen is built onto the south transept of the building. Église de la Sainte Trinité, formerly the Abbaye aux Dames. It was completed in 1060 and is dedicated to the Holy Trinity. The current seat of the Regional Council of Basse-Normandie is nearby. Others. Jardin Botanique de Caen, a historic botanical garden. Church of Saint-Pierre. Memorial pour la Paix, built in 1988, charting the events leading up to and after D-Day. It is an emotional presentation inviting meditation on the thought of Elie Wiesel. Peace is not a gift from God to man, but a gift from man to himself. The Memorial for Peace also includes an exhibit of Nobel Peace Prize winners and another one on conflict resolution in different cultures. Parc Festeland, an amusement park to the west of Caen in the nearby town of Carpiquet. The park receives 110,000 visitors every year. Mondeville 2 is a regional shopping centre in adjoining Mondeville. Administration. Recent mayors of Caen have included 1959 to 1970. Jean-Marie Louvel, MRP and Centre Démocrate, 1970 to 2001. Jean-Marie Girault, Parti Républicain UDF, 2001 to 2008. Brigitte Le Breton, RPR and UMP, 2008 to 2014. Philippe Duron, PS, 2014-present. Joël Bruno, The Republicans. In 1952, the small commune of Enoy became part of Caen. In 1990, the agglomeration of Caen was organized into a district, transformed in 2002 into a communauté d'agglomération, renamed Caen-la-Mer in 2004, gathers 29 towns and villages, including Villins-les-Buissons, Lyons-sur-Mer, Herminville-sur-Mer, which joined the communauté d'agglomération in 2004. The population of the communauté d'agglomération is around 220,000 inhabitants. In the former administrative organization, Caen was a part of 9 cantons, of which it is the chief town. These cantons contain a total of 13 towns. Caen gives its name to a 10th canton, of which it is not part. Transport. Caen has a recently built, controversial guided bus system, built by Bombardier Transportation and modeled on its guided light transit technology, and a very efficient network of city buses, operated under the name Twisto. Faced with the residents' anger against the project, the municipality had to pursue the project with only 23% of the population in favor of the new form of transport. The road layout of the city centre was deeply transformed and the formerly traffic jam-free centre's problems are still unresolved. The city is also connected to the rest of the Calvados département by the Bus Verts du Calvados bus network. Caen-Carpiquet Airport is the biggest airport in Lower Normandy considering the number of passengers that it serves every year. Most flights are operated by Hop and Chalair Aviation, and the French national airline Air France operates 3 daily flights to the French city of Lyon. Flybe also operate year-round services to London Southend. In the summer there are many charter flights to Spain, Germany, Tunisia, Morocco and Algeria. Caen is served by the small port of Weetram, lying at the mouth of the Caen Canal where it meets the English Channel. A ferry service operates between Portsmouth, England, and Caen, Weetram, running both standard roll-on roll-off car ferries and supercat fast ferries, with the latter making crossing from March to November. The ferry terminal is 15 kilometers from Caen with a daytime shuttle bus service for foot passengers. Caen is connected to the rest of France by motorways to Paris, Brittany and soon to Le Mans. The A13 is a toll road while the A84 is a toll-free motorway. The city is encircled by the N814 ring road that was completed in the late 1990s. The N13 connects Caen to Cherbourg and to Paris. A section of the former N13 is now D613 following road renumbering. The N814 ring road includes an impressive viaduct called the Viaduct de Calix that goes over the canal and River Orne. The canal links the city to the sea to permit cargo ships and ferries to dock in the port of Caen. Ferries which have docked include the Quiberon and the Duc de Normandie. Although a fraction of what it used to be remains, Caen once boasted an extensive rail and tram network. From 1895 until 1936, the Compagnie des Tramways Électriques de Caen operated all around the city. Caen also had several main and branch railway lines linking Caen railway station to all parts of Normandy with lines to Paris, via Flers, Cabourg, Holgate, Deauville, Saint-Lô, Bayeux and Cherbourg. Now only the electrified line of Paris-Cherbourg, Caen-Le Mans and Caen-Rennes subsist with minimal services. Education. The University of Caen, Université de Caen, has around 25,000 students in 3 different campuses, all linked by a tramway. The university is divided into 11 colleges, called UFR, 6 institutes, 1 engineering school, 2 IUP and 5 local campuses. The university is one of the oldest in France, having been founded by Henri VI, King of England in 1432. Caen also has a fine arts school and grandes écoles, such as the École nationale supérieure d'ingénieurs de Caen. Economy. The agricultural and food processing Agriel Cooperative has its head office on Caen. Agriel Group processes vegetables, cider, apples, milk, poultry and meat with the help of its 12,000 employees and all its partners. Music and theatre. The Théâtre de Caen is the home of the Baroque musical ensemble Les Arts Florissants. The organization was founded by conductor William Christie in 1979 and derives its name from the 1685 opera by Marc-Antoine Charpentier. Notable Caennaise. Caen was the birthplace of Robert I, Earl of Gloucester, illegitimate son of Henry I of England. Jean Berthout, poet. François Lemaitre de Bois Robert, poet. François de Milherbe, poet, critic and translator. Tanneguy Lefebvre, classical scholar. Jean Regnault de Segrès, poet and novelist. Pierre-Daniel Huet, churchman and scholar. René-Auguste Constantin de Renville, writer. Pierre Verignon, mathematician. Charlotte Corday, assassin of Marat. François-Henri Turpin, man of literature. Jacques Lynch Hamster Malfilatre, poet. J. Hector Street. John de Crevecoeur, French-American writer. Jean-Jacques Boizard, writer who specialized in fables. Gervais de la Rue, historian. Louis-Gustave Le Dolce, Comte de Pontecoulant, politician. Daniel Auber, composer. Jacques Amandides des Longchamps, French naturalist and paleontologist. Étienne Melling, actor and sculptor. Jules Danbé, opera conductor. André-Louis Danjon, astronomer. Marie-Pierre Koenig, general who commanded a Free French brigade at the Battle of Kaem in 1942. Maréchal de France. Giles Peterson, British-based DJ, record collector and record label owner, residing in London. Joel Thomas, professional football player. Elliot Grandin, professional football player. International relations. Twin towns and sister cities. Caen is twinned with. Sport. From 1947 to 2006, Caen was a stage of the Tour de France a total of 15 times. The city also has a football team, Edem Caen. Bibliography. Joseph Dekens and Adrien Dubois, Caen Castle, a 10 centuries-old fortress within the town. Publications du CRAHM 2010, ISBN 9782902685752. Publications du CRAHM